You should see me in a crowd. I know there's nothing to help.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today I'm going to be talking about what I did to study for the Nclex. And I actually passed the Nclex, so I guess what I did worked. So I'm going to give you guys some tips, some tricks, my study plan, all of that good stuff. So if you guys want to know how I passed the Nclex, please keep watching. The short answer to this question is UWorld. The long answer. So I actually purchased UWorld. In school we used ATI. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like a program that's supposed to help us prepare for the Nclex. We realized that we need to do a little bit more than just ATI, so me and my friends, we all decided to get UWorld, and that was the main thing that helped me. So when it came to studying for the Nclex, a month before I was supposed to take the test, I was hardcore studying every day. I did like 4 hours a day of studying. I would not recommend that. I really overworked myself and I was miserable. I would not recommend that. Actually, the recommendation is 2 hours a day. If you study 2 hours a day, you should be good. Should be a healthy amount. Obviously, you don't want to do it all at once. I did like 30-minute intervals, so I did, actually sometimes I would do an hour and then I would do 30 minutes and an hour, so it was on and off between those two things. And I did each subject separately and I tested myself on each subject. So they have all the subjects and then they have subtopics for each subject. I would focus on certain subtopics a day, and I did one practice test. So getting into what I did specifically to study, first thing I did was buy a journal. I just bought a journal, fresh new journal, to start writing all my notes in, because I feel like for me it's best if I write my notes as I study. That will help me remember it more. That will help me remember it more accurately. I think that's what I wanted to say. As I mentioned earlier, I would do certain subtopics a day. So what I would do is pick a topic for the day, and then I would title the page with that topic. So the first thing I did was farm, and as I did the questions, I would see what I struggled with and I would write a note on that topic. I would write a lot of notes on things that I struggled with, even things I was kind of familiar with but I really wanted to remember. I would write down. I didn't just do the questions, I wrote down anything I struggled with, and I filled up this page pretty well. I've heard good things about Nclex lectures. If you guys are able to afford that, I would recommend listening to his lectures. So that's what I did to study. I would say UWorld played a big part in my success. I was on the fence about getting it, but I'm happy I did, because it really prepared me for the Nclex and it prepared me for what type of questions I would see, especially the select all that apply questions. Those are very tricky. Even on the Nclex, they are very difficult. I feel like UWorld really prepared me well for that. Now some tips that I have for you guys. First tip is, for any question, try to figure out what you know about the topic. Anything you might know, even if you know what one of the answer choices is about, just try to figure out what you know before you start to answer. Another tip is to reread the question and all the answer choices. For me, when I was doing UWorld, my biggest problem, the main reason why I got questions wrong, not the main reason, but like one of the reasons why I got questions wrong was because I didn't read the whole question and I didn't read all the answer choices. Definitely reread. That's what I did for the Nclex. I made sure to read the question and the answer choices multiple times, because you never know if there's an answer choice that more fits the question than the one that you want to pick. Now, another thing is that you're definitely not going to know everything on the Nclex unless you're like really smart, but for the most part you're not going to know everything. I definitely did not. So sometimes when you see a question and you're just like, I don't know anything about this question, I don't know a single thing, try to use common sense. Try to think of the scenario in your head and then try to pick an answer based on what you would do if you were in that scenario. And if worst comes to worst, try to make an educated guess. I definitely guessed a lot. Not a lot, but I guessed on the Nclex for some questions. Another tip I have is to not expect to get the least amount of questions. So right now the least amount is 60 questions. Don't go into the test thinking that you're gonna get 60 questions. Expect the worst by expecting to get the most questions. I got the most questions. I got 130 questions. If you expect to get 60 and then you end up getting past 60, it can really ruin your performance for the rest of the test. You don't want the number of questions you're getting to affect your performance on the test. So just expect 130. If you get less than that, great. If you get that, then also great, because the amount of questions you get doesn't really determine whether or not you pass. It's just them trying to determine if you are qualified yet. After taking the test, there were 2 questions that I got wrong, and I knew I got wrong literally right after taking the test. I wish I knew a little bit earlier, but anyway, one main reason why I got them wrong was because I did not go with my gut. So go with your gut. If you don't know for sure, or you feel like you've seen the topic before but you're just like, oh, I can't remember, go with your gut. If when you look at the choices and then, like, let's say C is really sticking out to you, pick C. Don't think about it, just pick it and move on. Another tip is to not stress yourself out about it when studying. For me, like I said, I did 4 hours a day, which was not healthy. I don't know why I thought I needed to do that, but I did. One thing for me, a rule I had for myself is to not study after 8 p.m. and I would end the night with Netflix every night just to do something relaxing, because studying for me is, I hate studying. I never study unless I really have to. Obviously for the Nclex I definitely have to study, but I hate studying and I only do it if I have to because it stresses me out. Whenever I study I get a headache. I don't know what it is. So I definitely recommend 2 hours a day. No matter how soon you're taking it, just do 2 hours a day, but make sure it's quality. Make sure it's good studying and you're not just going through the motions, so to speak. Make sure you're really absorbing the information and really understanding it. So I would also recommend to do something relaxing every day to get your mind off things. It is very common to leave the Nclex feeling like you failed, because I did, and most people do. There's even a video out there that I watched that was like, it's normal to feel like you failed after the Nclex because that's kind of how it's designed. It just really tests you and it makes you feel like you're getting every question wrong. What I did after the test, I went and bought ice cream and watched Netflix like for the rest of the day. So just really get your mind off of it. Do something that you enjoy. Treat yourself to something after the test, because you're not going to know until the next day anyway, so don't stress out about it. You can't change anything after you're done. On the day of the Nclex, I did yoga to try to relax my mind. I also took anti-stress pills and I had a protein-filled breakfast. I took the test at 12 and I got there a little bit over 30 minutes. So that's what I did on the day of the test to try to calm my nerves. I'm a very anxious person, so I definitely needed to do certain things to help me. Another thing is I do not recommend taking it on Friday. Don't do it, because I had to wait till Monday for my results, and all weekend I was stressed. With that being said, I think that's all the tips that I can think of right now. If I think of more, I will comment it down below. Also, if you've taken the Nclex and you have any tips for other people, make sure to leave a comment. Help each other out. You got this. I believe in you guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.